just to sort of summarize some of my favorite aspects, and this is my puppy a couple months ago, Mosby, eating my book for my class, Library Mashups. I really like the fact that it allows easy access. On the other hand, too, the users have to be more accountable for the type of passwords that they put on their account. So we've tried to stress, change your password every 60 or 90 days, or if you think it's been compromised. But it's very easy. We've often had, I know over the 15 years that we've struggled with trying to get people just to the intranet. People are like, oh, I don't know how to get to the intranet. I mean, we give them a short address, you sign in there, and then you click on this other link. And that's too difficult. But this is actually even easier. At some point it'll even get easier. But it is pretty easy to get access. I like the ability that it allows it allows the ability to create mashups really easily. So I can bring in content from other sites. I can easily embed a YouTube video. I can easily bring in a Google document or spreadsheet. I can actually share a document outside our domain with people. We use it. I actually am using my Cyber Sailors account a lot for my KM group, looking at our programs and our vendors and kind of building the revenue, expenses and revenues of our KM programs. I'm also using Google Documents as a way to collect people's names or program ideas for 2011, because we're now in the midst of planning for 2011, even though the 2010 KM program our annual conference hasn't yet happened, but you really have to start planning early. And I don't know about you, but I hate receiving about 60,000 emails about suggestions. I'd rather it just collect in a form where then I can kind of look at the form. So I'm using that a lot for the form feature. Google Documents has a form, easy to build forms. The other thing we're going to look at is when people leave our division from KM, why are they leaving? Is it they can't afford us anymore? Has a new division started in SLA? Are we just not offering them the programs they want? So we're going to have sort of an exit interview of 3 questions, and they're going to be collected into a Google document form. So, I've been able to offer more services being chair of KM, knowing the features of Google Documents and Google Sites and other things. And I use it in combination with our main site, which is on SLA's wiki. It also, Google Apps automatically builds in that disaster recovery business resumption for the National Geographic. We don't have to worry about redundancy, backups of servers, backup of email, so it builds that in. I also like the fact my hard drives have crashed, and I've lost things on my hard drive. So now I sort of feel like it's out on the cloud. Google's supposed to be backing it up. I'm not going to worry about it. So I like that idea that I don't have to over-worry that I've lost something of importance on my hard drive, even if it crashes. It also gives the kind of us risk takers, what I kind of like is risk takers. Well, actually, this bullet point is actually Google's a risk taker, but it also gives me, who likes a lot of change in technologies and to play and fiddle with things, it gives risk takers kind of that continual growth and new opportunities. And again, Google's constantly rolling out new features. I'm just amazed at, just in the short, 8 months that we've been kind of up and running. We've been up and running probably since June, so 10 months. That it's just like every couple months or every couple weeks you see some new things. Now, that can also be a training issue, because I've been in the middle of training and they take away something or they add something. So it throws me. I'm actually dead in the middle of training someone with something, and it's changed on me. So, they keep you kind of on your toes, but, hopefully it keeps my brain fresh. I wanted to throw, well, before we switch to Google, from Google, does anyone have any questions, or has anyone else, kind of played with kind of either Google Apps or some of the other collaborative tools, explored forms.
Okay, how does Google Sites compare to Confluence, to what your wiki is? It seems to me like it's a lot easier to use.
It's a lot easier to use. I don't think it's quite as extensible to use. But one feature I really like, oops, Marie, I think I shut down the browser.
Oh, okay, hold on.
One feature I sort of like, you know in the HTML world where you had to like fight with the CSS and figure out how to make your site prettier? So I was showing my students this. I was like, I could just change the design like in a matter of 30 seconds, and it can be a totally different design. I mean, it can be good and bad, but I can switch from red to blue to green because they have a whole theme of... Oh, I can go. That's okay. So let's say I go to my student site. Oops. Sorry.
Pretty music.
So I think with Confluence, one thing that I really like about Confluence is it's sort of like MediaWiki, where your wiki can be kind of grow and morph and be really a huge collection of data. I think that the Google Sites lends itself to more, not huge sites. I don't know if I could see that it could handle like a 500-page site. I think it's good at smaller sites, at team sites, at ad hoc projects. This could change though, next month, ask me, because I know Google is adding some features to their sites to allow more granularity of how you share your site with other people. So I'm in my student site, but let's say I wanted to just change a theme. So I'm going to go down to Manage Sites, and I'm going to go down to, I'm going to go to actually Theme Layouts. And I could change my site to a completely different theme. Let's say I wanted to put a darker theme on it, and I can preview it. I can change the site instantly, and so it changes all the colors, the backgrounds, the look of the site. Some things work better with the site. You can even go and tweak the color of your font a little bit. You don't have to be an expert with, let's try the Ember. But it immediately can change the whole look. The other day I was sort of feeling like my student site was a little crowded, and so I expanded it to take the full width of any page that it was on. That actually doesn't look bad. I like that. So I had to send a note to my students. Here, I'll put this in. So here I've selected it, and I sent a note to my students. I'm like, don't worry about the changing student site. But like me, I get kind of bored. After a year, after 6 months, I want something new looking. And what's nice is Google comes out with new themes all the time. They even have the ability, so there's a new theme for my site. But let's